Well, we make jokes about Floridians and cold every year, but what about some of the other residents that live in Florida? We're talking about reptiles. I want to bring in Michael Ronquillo. He's from Humane Iguana Control in Miami, Florida. Michael, we talk about this every year. We see the videos of iguanas laying belly up when it gets too cold outside. So what is actually happening here when it gets cold? What causes these iguanas to kind of freeze up and fall out of the trees?
Man, yeah, we're famous for that, falling iguanas. Typically when the temperatures, go in the low 40s, that's when the iguanas become immobilized since they're cold-blooded reptiles, and they literally start falling from the trees.
Where do people typically find iguanas? If people have been to South Florida, maybe they've missed out on seeing them. Where do they live? Where do they habitate? Where are you most likely to find one if it's too cold and they do end up kind of freezing up?
I mean, honestly, in South Florida, you can find them pretty much anywhere. Local parks, canals. We've had iguanas inside of homes. They try to find warm areas to stay warm. But at times they might end up in places you don't want them. The problem with iguanas falling from trees, it can cause bodily harm, and they can cause damage to personal property. It could hurt your pets. I think last year there's a man doing yoga at a park, and he was laying down doing his final pose, and the iguana actually fell on top of him during the cold months. It could be dangerous.
My gosh, hopefully he was okay.
Yeah.
So does this happen every year? Do you guys get cold enough every year to see this happen? Or is it kind of hit or miss with winters?
I mean, typically at least happens once or twice a year. When it gets really, really cold, it happens frequently.
And so what should we do if this cold happens and the iguanas fall out of the trees onto your property? Because when they wake up, they can be dangerous. Their tails can whip you really hard. I know they got a set of sharp teeth as well.
Yeah, the tails could whip you, which can hurt, especially if you get hit in the face and you're in the eye. They do have sharp claws, they use for climbing, so their claws could, leave a nice gash on your arm or anywhere in your body. Typically, we usually recommend for people that have iguanas on their properties to get them removed prior to this happening to avoid any injuries. But if you do find any iguana frozen in your backyard and you have experience touching them, I always suggest hiring a professional to do it properly so you don't get hurt. We remove the iguanas as big as about 5-6 feet long with their tail included, roughly 20-25 pounds. They get pretty big. Also, if you find frozen iguanas in your backyard and you want to bring them inside to warm up, we highly, highly recommend you do not do that, because once they, unfreeze pretty much, you can have a scary situation inside your house.
Right, you go from being a nice person to a reptile chasing you around your home. All right, thank you so much. Mike Ronquillo joined us from Humane Iguana Control in Miami. Really appreciate your time, and hopefully the hunting goes well tomorrow.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
You too.
Take care.